right? For some people, I had a conversation with somebody a few weeks ago, and they were saying, I'm going to worry about automated cyber attacks when I actually see an AI system that can write good malware, and like that's already a thing that happens. So this happens a lot where people will be like, I'll worry about it when it can do X, and you're like, yeah, that happened like 6 months ago. But the field is moving so crazy fast that you could be forgiven for messing that up unless it's your full-time job to track what's going on. So it like you kind of have to be anticipatory. There's no, it's kind of like the COVID example, like everything's exponential. Yeah, you're going to have to do things that seem like they're, more aggressive, more forward-looking than you might have expected given the current lay of the land. But that's just drawing straight lines between 2 points.
Because by the time you've executed, the world has already shifted. Like the goalposts have shifted further in that direction, and that's actually something we do in the report and in the action plan in terms of the recommendations. And one of the good things is we are already seeing movement across the U.S. government that's aligned with those recommendations in a big way, and it's really encouraging to see that.
Whew, you're not making me feel better. I love all this encouraging talk, but I just I'm playing this out, and I'm seeing the overlord, and I'm seeing President AI because it won't be affected by all the issues that we're seeing with current president.
Dude, it's super hard to imagine a way that this plays out. Like I think it's important to be intellectually honest about this, and I think I would really challenge like the leaders of any of these frontier labs to describe a future that is stable and multipolar, where there's like more.
We're like Google's got like an AGI, and OpenAI's got an AGI, and like
and really really bad shit doesn't happen every day. Like, I mean that's the challenge, and so the question is how can you tee things up ultimately such that there's as much democratic oversight, as much the public is as empowered as it can be. That's the kind of situation that we need to be having. I think there's this like a game of smoke and mirrors that sometimes gets played. At least you could interpret it that way, where people lay out these. You'll notice it's always very fuzzy visions of the future. Every time you get the kind of like, here's where we see things going. It's going to be wonderful. The technology is going to be so empowering. Think of all the diseases we'll cure. All of that is 100% true, and that's actually what excites us. It's why we got into AI in the first place. It's why we build these systems. But really, challenging yourself to try to imagine how do you get stability and highly capable AI systems in a way where the public is actually empowered. Those three ingredients really don't want to be in the same room with each other. And so actually confronting that head on, I mean, that's what we try to do in the action plan. I think we
try to solve for one aspect of that. So the whole I mean, you're right. This is a whole other can of worms. Is like, how do you govern a system like this? Not just from a technical standpoint, but like who votes on like what it does? How does that even work? And so that entire aspect, like that, we didn't even touch. All that we focused on was like the problem set around how do we get to a position where we can even attack that problem, where we have the technical understanding to be able to aim these systems at that level in any direction whatsoever.
And to be clear, like we are both actually a lot more optimistic on the prospects of that now than we ever were.
Yes.
There's been a ton of progress in the control and understanding of these systems, even in the last week, but just more broadly in the last year. I did not expect that we'd be in a position where you could plausibly argue we're going to be able to kind of X-ray and understand the innards of these systems, over the next couple years, like year or two. Hopefully that's good enough time horizon. But this is part of the reason why you do need the incentivization of that safety forward approach, where it's like first you got to invest in secure and kind of interpret and understand your system, then you get to build it, because otherwise we're just going to keep scaling and like being surprised at these things. They're going to keep getting stolen. They're going to keep getting open sourced, and the stability of our critical infrastructure, the stability of our society, don't necessarily age too well in that context.
Could best case scenario be that AGI actually mitigates all the human bullshit?